Okay, I'm going to be doing my Bing Ads slash Microsoft advertising tutorial. This is going to be really just building a search campaign and some best practices when you're building a search campaign. This is a beginner's tutorial, so if you're an advanced advertiser, this is not for you at all. I'm going to have more advanced videos coming out as far as Microsoft advertising, including an e-commerce series with Microsoft advertising as well, because it's such a good channel for e-commerce, and I don't think enough companies use it that are in e-commerce. So let's get started here, and you need to first create your Microsoft advertising account. The other thing you need to do is complete the advertiser verification. And then when you do actually join Microsoft advertising, I would recommend using what's called expert mode. So expert mode is what I'm in. You don't need to be an expert to be in expert mode. It just gives you more control. There is a smart mode. I truthfully never use smart mode, so I would recommend just using expert mode, and that's going to be an option when you do set up your Microsoft advertising account. And then once you come in here, just set up billing and make sure you complete all of your business information, and you should get to a screen that looks like this eventually. Now, when you get to a screen like this, the very first thing you need to do is set up conversion tracking. So whatever the key performance indicators on your website are, that is what you need to track. Now, in this case, I'm not going to be going over exactly how I set up my conversion tracking, but I'm going to show you a few simple examples for setting up conversion tracking using Microsoft advertising. If you're looking for a resource for setting up Microsoft advertising or Bing ads, basically we use these terms interchangeably. Most people still search Bing ads and still refer to it as Bing ads, so I call it both. So if you hear me say Microsoft advertising or Bing ads, it means the same exact thing. But a very good resource, quick, easy article, and a video is how to add conversion tracking for Shopify for Microsoft ads. So I'll put this link in the video description because it's helpful, and then you have a video here. If we scroll down, it's very, very simple. You go to your Shopify store, select checkout, go to order processing, stop at additional scripts, add your universal event tracking tag. So that is going to be something I'll show you in a minute. Under conversion tracking, and then what we're going to do is switch back to the Shopify admin tab, paste the code in additional scripts. Tracking revenue, you just need to copy the code below underneath your UET tag that you placed in additional scripts. Click on save, and it will now report conversions and revenue back to Microsoft Ads for all your campaign types. That allows you to actually optimize your campaigns to drive you more revenue. So if you have a Shopify website, you're following along with this tutorial, which you can. This is going to help you create a search campaign. It just won't help you show anything with shopping or Performance Max, but it will help you create a search campaign, and you can make sure that you're setting up your conversion tracking properly. Now, what I would recommend doing is using Google Tag Manager, and it's easy to set up specific events. It's easy to add your universal event tracking tag there, so you can see mine down here, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. So what I'm going to be doing today is running ads for my website, brickpop.com. We're just going to be going to the shop and sending some of the traffic directly to the shop pages. This website is purely an affiliate website. So it's not something where I'm actually driving sales. I'm just trying to drive people to click off my website to some of these affiliate products. When people click off to some of these affiliate products, it actually counts as a conversion. Now, setting this up is a little bit complicated for me, but it's not really something that's going to be useful for you if that's not your main goal. So I'm going to show you today the two different main options for tracking your website conversions using Microsoft advertising. So let's come over here first and foremost. We're going to go to Tools, and the very first thing is your UET tag. I need to make sure your UET tag is installed. So if we click here, you can actually see my tag ID right there. Let's come over to Google Tag Manager. When you go to your workspace or your tags and you click to add a new tag, tag configuration, search Microsoft, and it'll come up right here, Microsoft Advertising Universal Event Tag. What you're going to do is leave this as it is, leave this as it is, and then you just need to take that tag ID that we had. So coming over here, copying our tag ID, and then pasting it right there. Scrolling down, triggering it on all pages. So now that puts the UET tag on every page on our website. You click on save. So we'll just do example UET tag. I don't want to add it twice. So we'll click on save and then submit this to your workspace, and now that tag is on your website. You do need to have Tag Manager installed on your website as well. In order to do that, go to the admin section, install Google Tag Manager, and from there you can paste this code underneath your opening header tag and this code underneath your opening body tag. I have tutorials on my channel for how to install Google Tag Manager on Shopify, how to install Google Tag Manager on WordPress. I will put them in the video description. Very straightforward process to install this. You can also, if you want to, come over to your Microsoft advertising account And when you're looking at your universal event tracking tag, make sure you create it if you haven't already. So I've already created one. Coming over here and clicking on view tag. And from there, you can take this, it says copy, and then paste the UET tracking code into every page of your website. If you want to do this later or keep a copy, you can send it in an email or download it. So you can copy this and basically just put it in the header portion of your website. So you can use things like insert headers and footers. Those allow you to add tracking code to your website. That is a WordPress plugin. I usually use WordPress head, footer, and post injections as the plugin, but there's a lot of plugins that can do this, including the code snippets plugin. So if you already have a plugin on your website for how to do this, just use that existing plugin. Or what I would recommend doing, and I honestly have switched a lot of my tracking to Google Tag Manager, I would recommend using Google Tag Manager as well. So just taking this, submitting that, and now we have our UET tag on our website. So from there, coming back over to our conversion tracking, we're going to click on tools again, go to our conversion goals. This is where you need to set up conversion goals for your website. So when you click on create, you're going to see what type of conversions you want to track. Mobile app install, offline, you can actually import conversions directly into your Microsoft advertising account, or we'll click on website, click on next. What is the goal category here? So what is the main thing people are doing? In my case, it was outbound click. So what you're going to see are two different goal types, destination URL or event. Destination URL means tracking a thank you page on your website. So if you have a specific surfsideppc.com/thank you, in this case, I'm in my Surfside PPC account. I'm going to be using this example for brickpop.com. I'm not actually running this campaign. But again, the process here is set up our conversion tracking and then create the campaign. So once your conversion tracking is set up, you can follow my exact campaign tutorial that's going to be starting in a few minutes. So goal type here, either destination URL. This is the easiest way to do it, is just name your tag. Just do your destination URL, and you can literally do contains. And if you're sending people to a thank you page, you can enter a thank you page. If it's some type of order confirmation page, so after somebody completes an order on your website, send them to that order confirmation page, and you can even set a revenue, and you can say each conversion has the same value and set that here. You could say conversion action value may vary, for example, by purchase price. Now this is where you're going to see you're going to need to customize your UET tag tracking code to report variable revenue. This is not something I'm going to be going over in this video, but I do want to create a separate Bing Ads conversion tracking video. So that is something that I do have in my pipeline coming out. But if you do set destination URL, at the very least, you can track every time the conversion action happens. And if you're not able to pull in that conversion action value, what you can do is basically just say, okay, the average order on my website leads to, let's see, is an $80 order. You can always just set $80 here and say, okay, that is going to be what the value is of every conversion action when someone purchases from my website, and you'll at least get a rough idea of how much your actual website, or how much your conversion is actually sending in terms of revenue to your website. So that is one of the options there, is basically setting up a destination goal. Next, if we come back over here, so we'll click on create again, website, next, goal category. So let's just say it's submit lead form event. Track every time someone completes a specific action, such as subscribing to a newsletter, downloading a white paper as a conversion. In this case, if I click on next and we open up on Surfside PPC, this is just my services page. Need to improve this page as well, but let's just say I want to track every time someone clicks the submit button. So what we could do here is we can come over, we can name this. So we'll just say sample conversion. Revenue, we're just going to say each conversion has the same value. We're just going to set it as leads, so it counts as one every time. Scope is going to be on my account. Count, I would recommend doing unique. So this is how you would want to do for leads, and for purchases, you want to count all. So unique leads. Conversion window, so that means if somebody clicks this button 100 times, it doesn't count as 100 conversions. Conversion window, so we'll just keep this at 30-day. View through conversion window, so when somebody actually sees your ad after they convert, you can set this a little bit longer. Sometimes I'll set it to 7 days. Including conversions, yes. And then conversion attribution model is going to be last click. And we're going to click on next. You're going to see we will turn auto tagging of Microsoft Click ID on, as it is required for UET conversion goals. So we're going to click on next here. And now what you're going to see is, do you have this UET tag installed on your website? Yes, it is installed, and all the pages, if you're not sure, you can click here. They'll give you some instructions for installing your tag. Click on save and next. Two different options, manual installation or code-free powered by Microsoft Clarity. Manual installation is a little bit more complicated, and what I'd like to do is point out analyticsmania.com. So they have some of the best resources in terms of conversion tracking. And I can tell you they've taught me how to set up conversion tracking for different accounts that I've worked with. So I use analyticsmania.com anytime I have to start conversion tracking because they have great blog articles here. Microsoft Ads conversion tracking with Google Tag Manager. This will show you every single way to actually track conversions on your website. So as we scroll down here, you can see install the UET tag, send additional events to Microsoft Ads, create conversions that will match the information of your events. So I recently set this up in my Beachfront Decor account, and I did it for outbound clicks and set it up using Google Tag Manager. It's a little bit complicated here. I'm in Beachfront Decor right now. But if we come over here to my tags, basically what we have here is the Microsoft Advertising Universal Event Tracking, and we have the Microsoft Advertising Event. So we click on it, and what it does is the track type is a custom conversion. So we're not doing the UET configuration, we're doing the custom conversion. Name the event action, set a category, set a label, and then we need to set up the same thing in our Microsoft Advertising account. I also have a conversion trigger. So this is anytime someone clicks on an outbound link, which leads to a conversion variable. The conversion variable equals true. The conversion variable is anytime there's an outbound click on my website. There's a lot of different ways to set this up, but it did work, and its setting works properly in my Beachfront Decor account. Okay, and what we can do is use this code-free powered by Microsoft Clarity. So I have a specific form on my website. So let's just say I'm trying to drive PPC advertising services. We scroll down here and somebody clicks on submit. I want that to count as a conversion. So we're going to take this page, come back over here. We're going to click on next after we choose that. Which web page you want to track, click on connect. Okay, so what we're going to do is click on choose an event, and then we're going to scroll down here and we're going to select this event right here. Select a highlighted area to choose your event. We're going to click on it. Event added, complete. So now our event setup should be completely good, and we should have this conversion all ready to go. Next step is to test your conversion goal. It could take 24 hours to verify it, so you could always fill out your form and see if it actually collects that information through your conversion goals. But that's an easy way to set up an event tracking. So that is conversion tracking in Microsoft Advertising and Bing Ads. I would definitely recommend looking at analyticsmania.com. They have a great resource here. And then if you're looking for Shopify information, intercom.help has some helpful information here. I'll put both of those links in the video description. Now let's start building our campaign. So we're going to come back. We're going to go to our campaigns, and let's build and create a new search campaign. So we're going to create a brand new search campaign, and usually your goal is going to be conversions. So there's a couple different options here depending on what your overall goals are. I don't have a catalog uploaded to Microsoft Advertising for this account. If you have an e-commerce website, make sure you create your catalog, upload it to Microsoft Advertising using the Merchant Center with Microsoft Advertising. If you're familiar with Google Ads, Bing Ads, Microsoft Advertising is basically the same exact thing. So what you want to do is choose your goal for this campaign. In my case, it's going to be conversions on my website. Basically, I want people to come to my website, go to some of these different pages here. So for example, Montessori balance boards, click through to this page. Well, I'm going to send them directly to that page as my landing page. And then when people click on my individual products and click on learn more, that counts as an outbound click. So any outbound click is essentially my goal. So as we're building this campaign, let's do conversions on my website. What kind of ads you want to run for this campaign? We want to run search ads. We're going to click on next. Okay, let's name our campaign. So we'll do Brick Pop sample campaign budget. So you can set an individual budget for your campaign or apply a budget from the shared library. I'm just going to leave this as is. Again, I'm not running this campaign. This is solely for a tutorial. Keep scrolling down, and what we're going to do is where do you want your ads to appear? So let's choose specific locations, and I just want to choose United States. So we're going to do United States, click on enter, and now we have the country region. One of the things you're going to see is if you choose certain areas, let's just say, we'll say Houston, for example. So you can do 25 miles around Houston, Minnesota, Houston, Mississippi, 25 miles around Houston, Texas. So you can target all of these different locations. And then you can also target these Nielsen DMA regions. Just make sure you target the right one, because this one is Mississippi and this one down here is Houston, Texas in Texas. So just make sure that you have the correct Nielsen DMA region, or you can use radius targeting. So it's really a matter of preference. If you serve a 25-mile area around a city, then use radius targeting, because there's no downside to using radius targeting. So we'll choose United States and target the entire country of United States. And now we have our location targeting set. Keep scrolling down here. Who should see your ads? I always do people in my targeted locations. Language, you want to select the language of the websites you want your ads to appear on, but ultimately our ads are mostly going to appear on Bing Ads or on Bing.com as advertisements, on Yahoo as advertisements, on AOL.com as advertisements, on DuckDuckGo.com for advertisements. So those are all some of the different search engines that Bing Ads actually, where your ads will run. Enable auto-generated assets for responsive search ads. Okay, so a lot of times I will select this, and in this case I will, and the main reason I will is when we come over here to our website and we click through to our Montessori balance boards, for example, it's going to take the information from our website to actually generate some of our assets for us, or to improve some of our assets. And overall with this, I have a nice little description here. I have the headline at the top. It's probably just mostly going to use this text at the very top here. So as we come down here, we can enable auto-generated assets for our responsive search ads. Show a disclaimer for ads in this campaign. We don't necessarily need to do that. And on this, I'm not going to enable dynamic search ads. So we're going to save and go to the next step. Okay, so once we enter our website here, and you don't need to worry about actually entering your final URL, your landing page URL, you just need to enter your website URL right here. On the right-hand side, you're going to get some ad group and keyword ideas. Now, my first ad group is going to be Montessori balance boards. I entered that keyword here. You'll see some recommended keywords at the bottom if we continue to scroll down. But let's do my ad group name here, and we're going to start with Montessori balance boards. And what we're going to do is there's 3 different keyword match types we can use. You only want to use 1 keyword match type per ad group. And in this case, we could either use broad match keywords. The keyword match type will be broad unless you put quotes or brackets around your keyword. If you use quotes, it's a phrase match keyword, so you'll see quotes around this keyword here. If you use brackets around your keyword, it's an exact match keyword. You can keep things really simple and just basically go Montessori balance boards. And this specific keyword, a phrase match keyword, will target plenty of different search terms that are very relevant to the actual keyword that we're targeting. You don't need to worry about misspellings. This will handle all misspellings and close variations, and also searches that are very similar in terms of the overall search intent. Now, if you're looking for more volume, you want to do a little bit more testing, you have a large budget, you're planning to add a lot of negative keywords to your campaign, just use the broad match keyword. Broad match keywords can perform well for you as long as you have conversion tracking and smart bidding set up. But what you want to do in my case, and what I would recommend doing, especially if your budget is somewhat limited, go with a phrase match keyword. You don't have to worry about as much testing, and you don't have to worry about having a month or two where your performance just isn't as good as it could be. If you want things to be really relevant and you want to sacrifice volume somewhat, use exact match keywords, and it's only going to match searches that are basically the same exact intent as this keyword. So it'll still target misspellings and plurals and things like that. But generally, to me, you find the best balance with phrase match keywords between volume and relevancy. It is really something you should test to get the best possible results. So now we have our keyword here, we have our ad group name, our websites here. Let's add one more ad group just as an example. We're just going to follow the same exact script here. So, well, we don't need to copy our URL yet. Let's come over and we are going to enter our ad group name is Montessori Busy Boards in this case. And we are going to use a phrase match keyword, Montessori Busy Boards. Okay, so we have our 2 ad groups set up. You don't have to use single keyword ad groups. It's not something that is a necessity. In this case, it just kind of works the best for this type of campaign, but I would put multiple keywords in the same ad group. The example earlier from Montessori blocks, where I said, I can target Montessori wooden blocks, building blocks, stacking blocks, just making sure you're targeting all those keywords, you can put them all in the same ad group. And it really shouldn't sacrifice your overall performance at all. So we have our 2 ad groups here, and now we're going to come down and we are going to save and go to the next step. So now what we want to do is create advertisements. So these are our standard ad groups. You want to create advertisements, you want to create ad extensions, and then what we want to do is come all the way to the bottom and save and go to the next step. I'm going to go through some of these different ad extensions that are available in your Microsoft advertising account, and then we'll create a few of them just to show you an example, but I already have some set up from old campaigns from Surfside PPC that I haven't ran in years and years. So the ad type, we are going to be using responsive search ads, and basically what that allows us to do is add a bunch of different headlines here, and then we can add some different description lines here. So we can add 4 description lines. We can keep adding our headlines here. Okay, so 15 different headlines that we have, and then we have our 4 description lines. We have our display path, and down here we have our URL. You can set a separate mobile URL if you want. I'm not going to. let's start with, this is our ad for Montessori balance boards. Now I'm only going to write one ad here, so it's a best practice to create multiple ads per ad group because it just allows Microsoft Advertising to test your ads a little bit more. First, our final URL. So this is for balance boards, so we're sending people to the right URL. Next, let's create our headlines. You're going to see ad strength over here on the right-hand side, and then some recommended headlines. These are based on our actual URL here. So let's do, I usually start with kind of the basic headlines here. Montessori busy boards. Not busy boards, it's balance boards. Maybe I should have picked two ad groups that are a little bit different, but let's make sure we use the right ad copy here. So that's an important thing when you're setting up your campaigns. Best Montessori balance boards. So we can use some of these here. So we'll use some of them. Usually I'll use some ideas that they have. As we scroll down, they have things usually, so some description lines down here as well. So let's do, okay, we have all of our headlines here. Now I wouldn't go crazy trying to create the perfect ad strength ads. This is literally just feedback for your own advertisements. It is not used in the actual auction itself. So some ad strength here, basically it's telling us add longer descriptions, add longer headlines, make your headlines more unique. I'm not going to worry too much about that. You can pin specific headlines in the top spot. So one of the things you may want to do is things like Montessori balance boards, best Montessori balance boards. Use a few of these in position 1 because as your ads are actually being shown, you can make sure that that first position is the main keyword that you're targeting. You could also do things like shop balance boards, so we'll put that in position 1. Balance boards we love, put in position 1. Top Montessori balance boards. Okay, so we'll use all 5 of these in position 1. Now let's keep scrolling down. Let's add some descriptions. I'm literally just going to press add all the descriptions they have written for me. Okay, so we have our descriptions. Let's see so our ad strength is average. That's fine. So we scroll down here, we're going to do our path here. So we're going to do balance boards. I would recommend writing your own descriptions. Just kind of writing descriptions can take some time. So we're just going to leave the descriptions that they have. So this is what our ads are going to look like. Top view, side view, mobile view. So overall, good advertisements to me. We're sending them to the right landing page. We're targeting a relevant keyword, and we have a relevant advertisement. So it's really that simple. And now what we can do is, now mobile URL, we're just going to use the same exact URL. And what we can do is click on save. And now we have our first ad created. And now we just need to create an ad for Montessori busy boards. We're going to skip this step, but I would recommend creating an ad there as well. Now let's scroll down here and a few different ad extensions that we have. Action extensions show a call to action button in your text ad. So might as well add an action extension and just go through here and just choose something as far as coming down and shop now. So enter our final URL. Now action extensions, these ad extensions are going to be added to the campaign level. So you need to make sure your final URL goes directly to your shop and we don't send it directly to this page here. So we can go directly to our product category for Montessori toys, assuming that we're targeting all Montessori keywords in this campaign. So now we have shop now, send people directly to our shop, and we can click on save. And now we have our action extension added to our campaign. Click on save down here. Okay, so we have our action extension added. Price extension, so you can do, basically if you have specific prices, if you click on the plus sign here, you can see header, description, price qualifier from up to average. Currencies, you can enter your currency here, enter the price, unit, so per hour, per day, per week, per month, per year. Sometimes there's no unit, and then final URL. So the example I give a lot here is, let's just say you offer oil change. You could say oil change, description, enter get an oil change there. Price qualifier, you could say oil changes from, and I would use US dollars usually, but we'll say oil changes from $50. So maybe a basic oil change at your mechanic is $50. So we enter that there, no unit, enter the final URL to our oil change page. So that is a price extension. We're going to cancel and not add any price extensions. Promotion extensions, if you're running an active promotion, you can click here and say, okay, our occasion is going to be our fall sale, and we're running a 20% off coupon. So you could say displayed start date, end date, item here. So maybe it's the entire store, maybe it's specific categories, final URL, promotion type, monetary discount, percent discount. So we do 20% off. So that is a promotion extension. We're not going to add that to our campaign. Site link extensions. So these are very, very common. Basically add links to other pages on your website. So enter your link text, your description lines, final URL here. So for BrickPop, I could say, okay, let's link out to my bath toys, my busy boards, my play kitchens, my math toys. Put all of those at the campaign level, and then you just click on save, and now you have site link extensions. If you've already set them up, what you could do is over here, just take these site link extensions and add them directly to your campaign by clicking on the plus sign or the minus sign to get rid of them, and then click on save. So callout extensions basically just add some additional text to your ad. Callout extensions are good for just quick little, free shipping over $50, easy, fast returns, things along those lines. Any types of unique selling propositions that you have should be included in callout extensions. Structured snippet extensions, you can show specific types of products. You could show degree programs if you're a college. So basically it allows you just to show different things you offer based on so if we click on add real quick, we'll just show you an example. Add new structured snippet. So some different things you can add here. So neighborhoods, services, service catalog. So if I'm running ads for Surfside PPC, I can put, okay, we offer Google ads, Bing ads, etc., etc. So structured snippets, very popular. Filter link extensions, not something I use very often. Highlight specific aspects of your products and services using filter links. So if you add it here, you can enter value, final URL, mobile final URL, and under the header, you're going to see either amenities, bestsellers, brands, classes, courses. So just a different way to kind of show some different links as far as using a header as well. So you'll see examples, Wi-Fi, pool, fitness center, kitchenette. That is something that a hotel could do and kind of link out to some of the information about all of these different things. So we'll get rid of filter link extensions. We're not adding those. Review extensions, so you can actually show a review from a third-party source in your ad. You do need to link to the source. So if somebody puts, BrickPop is a legitimate source, writes about brickpop.com and says, they're great at whatever ABC, I can enter that as review text. You could do this for Surfside PPC. I can use from a source that said Surfside PPC is great at managing Google ads. I could use that as my review text, enter that source, and then the source URL. So review extension, another option. Location extension, you can add your physical location to your advertisements. This is for any store, any type of company that has a physical location that you want to appear in your advertisements. Call extensions are you can add a phone number to your ad on mobile devices. People can actually click to call you, and then on desktop devices, it will show your phone number with a lot of different searches so people can call you directly from just seeing your phone number in your advertisement. Flyer extensions are similar to just image extensions. So if you add a new flyer extension, you can name it, and then you add an image. The minimum size 220 by 220, cannot exceed 3.9 megabytes. Final URL, mobile URL, description, start date, end date. So some different options for a flyer extension. Let's save and go to the next step. No, they knew they were going to make me create an ad. Okay, we're going to do this quickly. Okay, we're just going to create this ad real quick and click on save. Again, I'm not running this campaign, so just kind of showing you how I structure a search campaign. So we have some of our extensions. We can save and go to the next step, and now we have our budgets and our bids. So our individual budget, we'll just use $25 per day. You can set your budget at whatever you want to set your daily budget at. Take your budget and multiply it by 30.4, and you can get an idea of how much you're going to spend per month. Now, if we come over here, bid strategy, either enhance CPC, maximize conversions, target CPA, target return on ad spend, or you could use a portfolio bid strategy across different campaigns. Generally, I always recommend a smart bidding strategy. So one of these three here, in this case, since I'm trying to drive leads, I would use target CPA and say my target cost per acquisition is something like, now mine are, the reason I don't run ads for this is clicks off on these products are just not worth a whole lot. They're worth cents. I could drive 100 clicks. It's not going to send me a ton of money. So that's the reason why I really don't run a lot of ads for any of these websites, because running ads for these websites is not going to be profitable, and it doesn't lead to new customers. It leads to new affiliate sales. So it's not something that I look at as a long-term strategy. But what you could do is you can set a target CPA, and then you could say, I want to set a maximum CPC. Keep in mind, if you set a maximum CPC, it will exclude you from certain auctions. So if, for example, the average cost per click for one of the keywords I'm targeting is $1, and I set a maximum CPC at 50 cents, then I may not enter every single auction, and I'll probably be excluded from a lot of auctions just because my competitors are bidding higher, even if I've set up an organized campaign. So you can use maximum CPCs, and I do use them a lot, especially in Google ads when I'm using portfolio bid strategies. And what you can do is make sure that you're just bidding on a lot of keywords and creating a lot of ad groups. So for my website, I would make sure I'm targeting all of these different keywords, all these subcategories, and then what I can do is set that maximum bid limit to make sure that I'm not spending too much on a cost per click basis. This is also something, again, if you have a very large budget, you can set a cost per acquisition. Just leave this wide open. I like to set maximum CPCs when I start, even if you set them a little bit higher than what you expect to pay. So $1.50 would be high enough for all of these different keywords. So if you're not sure where to set this at, you could always set it high and decrease it, or set it low and see how much your campaign actually spends, and then increase it over time. Conversions, we're going to use the include in conversion settings. So that means any conversions that we've created that have the include in conversions, they are going to be counted for this campaign. You can also choose specific conversion goals. So maybe we'll just choose specific since we have our sample conversion or our affiliate clicks conversion we created earlier. So we'll use our affiliate clicks conversion. Campaign targets, so targeted locations, United States. You can use some bid adjustments to increase or decrease bids for these specific locations you're targeting or specific devices that you're targeting. Advanced campaign settings, start date and end dates, you can set those. You can set ad scheduling, set your time zone. So other settings, choose options that are applicable to your campaign. Multimedia ads, so multimedia ads, you can increase or decrease your bids. So we can leave that as is. Ad distribution, so the entire Microsoft advertising network. So this is the option includes Microsoft sites, additional partner traffic for extended reach and a lower cost per click. This option includes, so Microsoft sites and select traffic, includes Microsoft sites and select partner traffic with performance conversion rates similar to Microsoft Bing's. All options include search and audience ads. I would recommend the entire Microsoft advertising network as your ad distribution. And now let's click on save. Okay, our campaign is created. It's in review. It's going to go live soon. I do not want to actually spend for this campaign. Limited, not enough conversion data. That's perfectly fine. You can still start a campaign with a conversion bid strategy. If you're really not getting enough results, try maximize conversions. If that's still not getting enough results, look at using an enhanced CPC bid strategy and then switching over to the other bid strategy. But that is our campaigns. We'll just look at our all campaigns here real quick. We're going to go into our campaign, just look at it. So we have our two different ad groups, Montessori Busy Boards, Montessori Balance Boards, auto bids because we're using target CPA. Again, if your campaign is not spending, you probably need to add more targeting. You probably need to increase your minimum bids for target CPA. You probably need to increase what your actual target CPA is. So look at all of those things if your campaign's not spending. If we come down here, we can look at the keywords that we're targeting. So we have two different phrase match keywords. You can adjust your match types at any time. Just go to this drop down. So you can always change that. And then as we come down, or we'll come to the top here, ads and extensions. So extensions are actually called assets in Google Ads now, but we can see our ads and you could actually just click here, make sure your ads have the correct landing page. So we click on our Montessori Busy Boards ad or Montessori Balance Boards ad, goes directly to the correct page, and now we have our campaign set up and ready to run. Now what you want to do is let your campaign get some activity for a little bit. Generally, I recommend running for a week or two. You want to build out your entire campaign. So when I'm talking about all of these different subcategories that we have, I would build out my entire campaign before I ever start running it. I would definitely want to create more ad groups than I currently have. So 2 ad groups is not nearly enough. I've had campaigns with hundreds of ad groups, and usually especially with automated bidding, it makes more sense to add as many ad groups as possible as long as you're making sure that your campaign stays organized. So this is my Bing Ads tutorial for beginners, how to set up a campaign, a search campaign, some best practices as far as your conversion tracking, your targeting, keyword match types. I would recommend testing broad match, phrase match, exact match. What you want to do is kind of, so when I'm testing keywords, what I'll do is come over to our keywords really quick within this campaign, is let these phrase match keywords run for a little bit. If you're seeing good performance, don't change them. If you're not seeing good performance, what you can do is go to your search terms report and actually see the search terms that are triggering your ads. If these search terms are not relevant, you need to start adding some negative keywords. You can also incorporate negative keyword lists as soon as you start your campaigns. That's another best practice to use. So use the search terms report as well. If you're using broad match keywords, you're going to see a lot of irrelevant search terms in the search terms report. Just keep in mind that Bing Ads is testing your campaign, so they're showing you for a lot of different search terms. If they don't convert long term and you're using conversion tracking, you're using the right smart bidding strategy, generally over time, Bing Ads will stop targeting those keywords. If you want things to be really relevant, try exact match keywords. They tend to be a little more expensive, but they are more relevant and targeted. So from there, the other things to test your ads and extensions, create 2 responsive search ads per ad group because it's just going to help you test a little bit more. You can create different themes for your responsive search ads. Make sure you're using every relevant ad extension for your campaign. If you accept phone calls, use phone calls. If you have fixed prices or prices that start at a certain dollar amount, enter price extensions. The more extensions you use, the better your overall ad strength is, and it's only going to help your campaign performance. The other thing to test are landing pages. So you can use, for example, something like Montessori balance boards and send people directly to this page with all these different products for sale. I can also create a blog post, something like the 20 best Montessori balance boards for 2023. People go to the blog post, they read some of the reviews for all the different products, click through to one of them, and hopefully purchase something from my website. So those are some of the different strategies for Bing Ads, Microsoft Advertising, running your search campaigns. If you have any questions about any of this, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.